Hello and welcome to this ACT lesson. And in this lesson, we want to look at the relationship between database tables. We know very well that the tables are the objects inside a database which are used to save information. And these tables are very important because you can create many of them and they can be grouped according to the type of data they contain. In this example here, you can see I have three tables, and I'm taking an example of a school where we have students' records, and we also have library information about books, how they are borrowed out, how they are returned, and anything related to library operations. Then we also have fees table, where we keep record of how students pay fees and the balances they might be having or overpayments that they might have done. And these three tables are very important because if we decide to put everything in one table, it will be very difficult to manage and the information flow will be inconsistent and difficult to retrieve. But when we specialize tables like this one, efficiency of accessing information is improved because when one person is accessing library table, maybe another person is accessing student table or fees table. And in that way, database operations becomes efficient when different pieces of information are stored in different tables. Now, in this scenario where everything has its own table, it may not be necessary to keep details of students in the library tables because the same details are in the student table. What I mean is, since the same students who are registered in this school are the ones who will be using this library, there is no need of librarian recording each student's admission number, each student's name, gender in relation to library operations. What we will simply do is, in case a librarian will be wanting information related to a student's personal details like phone number of the parent, instead of him or her getting it from this library table, he or she can get it from students table, which already has the same information. And in a case where there are some students who are not allowed to borrow books, for example, because of fees balance, there is no point of this librarian keeping a record of fees balances. It will be easier if librarian will just get it from fees table, which already has information about balances. Now, the challenge will be, how will that happen since these tables are independent? The solution will be to relate them or to create relationship between them. And in that case, we will have this table being linked to this table, and maybe this one fees linked to the rest. Finally, we will have created what we call relationship, and this is very important because if they are not related like this, then it will be difficult to get the information from all the three tables. Now I will go and show you in MS Access database management system how we can create a relationship between the tables. As you can see here on the desktop, I have a folder, and inside that folder I have one database called SchoolDB. I will go ahead and open this in MS Access for you to see. And inside the student DB, you can see here I have two tables. one with student information, another one with the library information. If I open student table, you can see here I have 6 students and I have the admission number, first name, last name, gender and class. And here I can open the library table. I have here a column for each book, that is the number, book number or book ID. I have the title for that specific book and the author. Then I have some operations here where some students whose admission numbers appear here borrowed some books on those particular dates. And now I will go ahead and show you how we can link these two tables so that we can be able to get information from either of the tables when we need it. To do that, the first thing is to ensure that at least one column appears in both tables. Here I have a primary key which will never contain repeating values of students. Here I have admission number. This primary key in the students table also exists here in the library table. So these two tables qualify to be related because there is a field which cuts across the two tables. And to create relationship, it is very simple. First, to ensure all the tables are not open, they are closed, and you go and click database tools. In a group called relationships, you click this relationship icon, then you click add, choose the other table, add, then I will close here. Now you can see here all my tables are here, but they are not related. I want to create that relationship, and to do that you look for the column which is in both tables. Here I have admission number, also here admission number. Then I will simply grab the first admission number, drag it on top of the other admission number. Then the relationship window appears, and in this window you can see here we are picking from the students table a column called admin number. Then even in the library table we are picking admin number. We will go and enforce integrity between the two tables. To enforce integrity means you cannot, for example, update information in one table without reflecting the same change on the other table, or you cannot delete information in one table and leaving information related to what you are deleting on the other table. It must happen together. So to enforce integrity is very, very important, because if I have a student in my school, then the student leaves and there is some records related to the student still pending in the library, it will cause a big problem, because maybe you will clear the student and the student will leave, then finally you realize this person did not return books. So when we create relationship and the information is linked together like this, when we try to delete student record on the other table, it will tell us this student has related information in the other table and such. That one will help us so that we ensure all the information is intact and is consistent. So I will go ahead here and click create. After checking this enforce referential integrity, I will go here and click create. Now you can see this handle. This is the relationship handle. If you've done a mistake and you want to remove this, you just click this handle, then press delete key on the keyboard, then you click yes to delete it. Now I will go ahead and save this relationship here, then I will close here. So these two tables are already linked. If I open one, you can see each record has a plus sign, meaning it is linked somewhere. Now we want to see why relating the two tables is very important. Now you can see here in this table I have admission number and first name of the students, but in this library table I don't have first name of student, I only have their admission numbers. So instead of creating another column here and feeding first name and such of students, there is no need. I can as well get that information from this table through a query. And we said very well earlier that a query is a search you can do in one or more tables to get the columns you want. So right now I want to create a query to give me a list of students with borrowed books from the library. I will click create, then I will choose query design here. Now here you have to add your tables. I will start with students table, add it, then click library, add it, and close. You can therefore see here my students are here and the library information is linked to their records. And now I am free to choose the columns I want from either of the tables. Since I want a list of students with books, I will go ahead and double click admission number from this table and first name. Then I also want class where these students come from. I will click it. The rest of the information is in the library table, and what I need from library is admission, book ID, and the title of the book this student borrowed, and I also want the date the borrowing took place. Also in this query I want to sort that information according to the admission number of students. I don't want it to be sorted either according to the borrowing date or according to the first name, but I want according to the admission number. So I will just come to this sort row and choose here ascending, so that the numbers are arranged from smallest to largest. Then I will run this query, and you can see in our query it has given me everything I requested. It is showing me the admission number of students who took books, in which class they belong to, and even the book IDs which they took, and the title of the book, and the dates this student borrowed books. So I will go ahead and save this query here and give it a name, borrowed books, borrowed books. Let me use an underscore, borrowed books, then I will click OK. Now I will go ahead and get a report from this query so that I'm able to print it, because the information in the query you cannot print. You have to put it in the report document for you to be able to print it. I will go ahead and close this query. Now to create a report, I will just come to the create tab, then I will go to report wizard, then choose here borrowed books. Then after choosing the query here, you just click to get all the fields, then click next, next, here I will choose block, then I will choose landscape to get a bigger and wider view of the data, then next and choose finish. Now you can see my print preview of the report is here, but it is not well formatted. I will close this print preview and choose here layout view to show me everything. So I will just go ahead and arrange my report the way I want. This is first name, put it there. Then I will go to class, put it in the proper place. You just click the box, then you move its edges as you arrange it so that everything looks neat. I will go ahead and also adjust the heading for the book ID. Click the title of the book, move it. We have borrowed it here, move it just like that. This is the title for the book. It should come here, fit in here. Then I have borrowed it title, pull it in, and you can see now my report is there, well arranged. This page number, also adjust it. Now the last thing to do is now to format this heading. I can just write here students with borrowed books. Then dates, like today is 30th September 2020 as the heading, and I will also click home and color this one maybe red. Then this admission number, I will write it properly by renaming it. I can just write admin number. This first name, I can also write it properly. First name, class, write it with capital, starting with capital letter, class. Change the position of this heading. Book ID, write it properly, book ID. And title, let it start with the capital letter, title of book maybe. Then here we can have borrowing dates, like that. And choose maybe green, then make them bold like that. So here you can see this is a report which I can print. It is showing one student S002 borrowed only one book, S003 has 2 books borrowed, And finally, S005 borrowed one book on this specific date. And you can see this report is arranging the admission numbers in ascending order because in the query it was like that. This is how it is simple to use relationships to get information via query and to create a report from a query which can be printed and be used somewhere in a meeting or be filed. Thank you for participating in this lesson. See you next time. Bye bye.